Hello and welcome to my channel. Now this is a little special video, like a little bonus, because my previous video was a speed build of a Chinese inspired house that I built in Shangsimla, in which we are right now. And this little video is just a bonus where I show you how I personally do pagoda roofs in The Sims 3 and also how I achieve multi-level roofs in my builds. Because let's be honest, in The Sims 3 the pagoda roofs can look either kind of okay, maybe like interesting, but they are usually just overhanging too much. And that's what I'll try to fix in this video. So usually when you try to use a pagoda roof on your build, let's do a simple room for example, this is how a normal roof hangs over the wall. Now when you try to use a pagoda roof, which there are 3 types of, but when you use the very first pagoda roof type, they overhang too much. It's like 1.5, that's too much. Like, I know that in these parts of the world, the roofs overhang, yeah, true. But this is a bit too much for my taste. So I found a trick that can maybe help you out a little. But I have to use a disclaimer. Because pagoda roofs are in the base game, you don't have to own World Adventures to use it, but it fits best with Shangsimla, which is a world from World Adventures. But if you want to build in any other worlds, that's obviously completely fine. However, we will be using split levels, which means that because the limit for floors in The Sims 3 is like, I believe 4 or 5, I can't remember exactly, you'll only be able to do it with up to 2 floors of like actual Sims being able to move around everywhere, and you'll see why in a second. Now the first thing that you want to do is press Ctrl Shift C to open up the console. Once you do that, this little thing will pop up, and here you can write the following cheats. First of all, testing, cheats, enabled, and then space, true. This will allow us to use all of the other cheats. Now, you want to do this again by pressing Ctrl Shift C and then putting constrain, floor, elevation, and then space again, false. Now, what this cheat does is basically it kind of allows the walls to be manipulated to whatever height you wish. And this will be very important for this next step. Now, the problem with the overhanging roof is that if you try to maybe do it 1 tile smaller, it will look weird. It will have this weird space, but I just don't like it. So the thing that I do is basically have my normal looking floor. Just imagine that there are walls here and there's the house. And if I want to do a roof, I put an outline that is 1 tile smaller. If there was a bump out here, for example, then I would just do something like this. Then I put any tile over it. And because I have the constraint floor elevation cheat, the stairs won't place as usual, but instead they will kind of go into the roof, which means that I can do things like this. Now, what it does is basically shrink the wall height, which allows me then to use level terrain is the easiest way to do it. Level terrain tool to kind of smooth out everything, and this way I have just a normal floor which Sims can use, and then on top of it there is a second floor which your Sims obviously won't be able to access, like don't put anything here, but you will be able to place another thing on it. In our case we want to put another roof. So my way of doing roofs, especially in the Asian themed worlds, is by first using this hipped roof and just placing it as I would normally put without this little bit on the top. And then I don't really like super high roofs. I find them to be somewhat unrealistic. So I just try to keep everything consistent by adjusting the roof height a little bit smaller. Also, pagoda roofs in The Sims 3 are a bit weird, not only because they overhang, but also because they are very, very, very tall, and they can get out of hand very quickly. So don't be ashamed to kind of play around with this setting and then doing pagoda roofs separately, because that's another can of worms. Now, once I am pleased with the height of everything, I am using one of the pagoda roofs on top of this. So now the overhang won't look as weird because there is a tile here, like nothing is missing, there isn't a hole in the roof, and also it doesn't overhang, it's still the same height as the house. So in my opinion it looks just better, especially if you know, put in textures and stuff like this. I have to warn you, pagoda roofs in The Sims 3 are not the easiest to work with, not only because of the overhang and everything, but also I would advise you to kind of maybe avoid situations like this one, because no matter which style of pagoda roofs you use, it will just have weird clipping like this. And of course, if you want that, I mean, go for it, but it just invites just buggy, weird looking roof. So when building and knowing, just kind of imagining the floor above being one tile smaller, I wouldn't do a shape of a house like this. Instead, I would maybe put this tile, make this one tile smaller. Now, when I do the same trick by outlining the same floor plan, but just one tile smaller, now I can do the exact same thing over here. I am still doing the stairs thing. Now, this tool is a bit janky, so you will have to get used to it, and also expect that sometimes there may be bugs, because this is The Sims 3 we are talking about, obviously. But also sometimes just placing a room instead of separate walls will do the trick. Now that I have this thing done, and now that there are no like straight corners in multiple places, I can do the same hipped roof technique over here and over here, and then when I do the pagoda roof, it will not clip. I feel like this looks much better. Now, by adjusting the roof height, you can make it higher or smaller or whatever you please. And also this trick will work if you want to do a second level, because you can just do the same trick on another level. Yeah, that sentence made perfect sense. Now, this trick will obviously work also for double leveled houses, because you can just do the same thing as I did with this, just putting the roof and the half roof, let's call it like that, on the second floor. So that's where the magic happens. The problem is, whenever you go further, like this is technically 2 floors. So if you want to go for like a 3rd floor or 4th floor, the game technically allows it, but also these half levels are treated by the game as actual levels. So after a while, you won't be able to put another half roof. So imagine that I try to place a roof here and I just wouldn't be able to. So now that you know this, this is my go-to trick whenever I build an agent-inspired build, and I hope this kind of explained it to you, maybe for those of you who are confused. I can't wait to hear what you guys want to learn from my builds, if there is anything, and also I'm obviously open to kind of explaining some things that I might have not explained the best. But yeah, treat this as a little bonus video, as a little treat, and if you are inspired to maybe build a Chinese or just Asian looking house in The Sims 3 using this technique, let me know how it turned out in the comments. I can't wait to hear from you. Now, obviously, this is the part of the video where I have to ask you, like, subscribe, do all those things the YouTubers usually ask you to. If you want to help me out, you have a Ko-fi page in my description, and I won't be taking more of your time. I feel like I've explained everything. So, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. That was cringy.